Hey, John Cruz here with your cruise control tip about height and where to run the height of your engine on the back of your boat. A lot of confusion that I hear of questions. I get people not knowing exactly what to do with their engine height. But here's the best way to start. Start with your TH Marine Atlas plate all the way down. Run it all the way down. Trim your motor all the way down. That's usually pretty much close to the optimal height to get on plane. You want that motor to be down in the water. You want it to get as much traction as possible. The further that your motor is and your prop is under the water, the more traction it's going to get to be able to lift your boat on plane. The higher your motor is, closer to the surface, there's not as much water pressure up there, and you're not going to have as much grip with your prop. So it's going to not allow your boat to have the optimal traction to get on plane. But somewhere in that range towards the lower end of it, it's probably where you're going to be to get on plane. Now once you get going in a straight line, you're going to want to get a little closer to that surface so that you can have a little bit of slip and your engine is able to get the maximum amount of horsepower. You want to be in that 5,800 to 6,000 RPM range. That's definitely where my Mercury has the most power. Most engine brands are in that same range, but you want to get a little bit closer up. So once you got on plane, you have that Atlas plate all the way down. Once you get your trim angle up a little higher, you're going to probably want to start raising that Atlas plate just a little by little to see where your RPMs get into that range we talked about, and to where your speed, you'll probably keep inching up, and then there'll be a point where you get too high, and then you actually start losing speed, or you'll start losing water pressure. But you just want to inch it up just a little bit, and usually there's not more than about a 2-inch difference between the optimal plane height and the optimal running height. So there's not a huge gap there, but you can have a big performance difference. And then you want to be careful though, because when you raise that engine up high, you don't want to get it too high to where you start losing traction, and then you start going into corners or taking turns. Because if you have this, like on my BassCat, if you have your jack plate at the right height, you can turn that boat around on a dime. You have plenty of traction, you have it at the right height, you can turn on a dime and it won't blow out, won't lose any traction. But if you have that motor too high, you can lose traction. As you can see, that if you get it too high, your prop is going to be out of the water or too close to the surface, and you're going to blow out. You can spin out. Bad things can happen. So that's why you want to kind of bring that jack plate back down a little bit if you're going to be in some real sharp turns or something like that. So hopefully you can understand a little bit more from that input of where you want to have your jack plate height on your TH Marine Atlas plate when you're running.